Well, here's my question to you guys. If Oklahoma scores 31 points in this game, is that good enough to win? I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time to preview the game that I'm looking forward to the most on Saturday. Yeah, I'd say that, yeah. It is a game I'm looking forward to the most. We got Texas and Oklahoma, the Red River Shootout. I love this game. I don't even have a horse in the race, but if you're a college football fan, how can you not love it? I think it's going to be good to say the least, and this is going to be a very interesting preview and prediction because we really don't know what to expect out of Oklahoma, do we? Yeah, they're 5-0, but they haven't really played anybody. On the flip side for Texas, they have already proved themselves. They beat Alabama, that speaks for itself, on the road by double digits. At the end of the day, that is the most impressive win in college football up until this point. We're going to preview that game, talk all about it. I would say that's the main topic. We're going to spend most of the time talking about that one. But also, as most of you know, on Thursdays, we don't just preview one game, we preview all the games. And we've already previewed the Colorado game and the Alabama and Texas A&M game, so we only have a few more to go. Premise of this video is relatively simple. I don't got time to waste, you don't got time to waste, and let's start out with our 11 a.m. games first. We will not start out with Oklahoma and Texas. Also at 11 a.m., we got a maybe sneaky good game. We got the little bro Ohio State versus undefeated 5-0 Maryland. What about that? And a lot of people would say that Maryland has a better quarterback in this game in Taulia Tagovailoa. On the season so far, Taulia has been one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But I want to keep this one short and sweet because I don't want to pull your leg around for the next 3 or 4 minutes hyping up Maryland and telling you why or how they could win this game. Because at the end of the day, Ohio State should win this game, and they more than likely will win this ball game. Maybe Maryland in the first half, they are a splash in the pan, get a couple touchdowns, but Ohio State, they're just too much, way too talented. Maryland at max might have 5 4/5-star recruits on their team. On the flip side for Ohio State, they probably have like 30 to 40. It's just not a fair matchup. It's not fair at all. Outside of the quarterback position, that one, it's a pretty equal matchup. I think Ohio State's going to be too much, but I am looking forward to see that Ohio State defense versus that Maryland offense. That's going to be something to pay attention to. I want to see if that Ohio State defense has improved since last year. I'll take Ohio State in this game by 17, 20 points. Also at 11 a.m., we got a top 25 matchup a lot of people don't even know. We got LSU, go Tigers, Shondé Ogeron, and Mizzou, undefeated as well, 5-0. Missouri has been the shock of the SEC, but I told everybody before the season, watch out for them because they're going to be a sneaky good team. And at this point in time, I don't even know if you can just call them sneaky good. They're just flat out good. They got the big time top 25 win over K-State, and they're moving along pretty good. They're sitting on their high horse. On the flip side of it, LSU, they've been one of the most disappointing teams of the season up until this point outside of Clemson. It's just not good, and I'm going to tell you what, man, I wouldn't be shocked if Missouri upsets LSU in this game because these LSU players, their morality, the team morale, is at an all-time low. And going back to this, like I was saying, Missouri's on their high horse. They're at an all-time high when it comes to confidence. I'm going to call the so-called, I guess you'd say, quote-unquote upset. I'm going to say Missouri shocks the world and they beat LSU. I love their quarterback, Brady Cook, who, by the way, on the year has 11 touchdowns to 0 INTs. What about that? Takes care of the ball pretty good, and Missouri's got a pretty good wide receiver, arguably one of the best wide receivers in the SEC, in Luther Burden III. Keep your eyes on that. That Missouri team, they can score a lot of points. Do they have the greatest defense in the country? Absolutely not, but they don't need to, and they got that good of an offense. And we all saw what Ole Miss did against this LSU defense last week. I think it's going to be a shootout. I see Missouri win this game 41-38, and that might be too low. You could see this game get as high as the Ole Miss LSU game. You just never know, but I'm going to take Mizzou to pull the upset. Give me the Tigers in that one, but not the LSU Tigers, the Missouri Tigers. And I'm trying to debate, should I hold off for the Oklahoma-Texas game and save it for last, or should I just talk about it now since it is 11 a.m. kickoff? You know what? Since it is a big-time game, let's run through these others real quickly here because we just got a couple more. There's not a lot of great matchups to talk about for this Saturday. It's still going to be an awesome day of football, but just not too many great games, if you get what I'm trying to say. At 2:30, you got Alabama and A&M, but we've already talked about that. We've already previewed that game. If you haven't seen my thoughts on that game, go check out one of the recent videos. Talk all about it. So we're going straight from our 11 a.m. games to our night games at 6 p.m. And guess what? At 6:30 p.m., we got another top 25 matchup with Notre Dame and Louisville. Man, what a slate Notre Dame's been on the last 3 weeks, playing all top 25 teams. Louisville's 5-0, but it's similar to Maryland. Yeah, you're 5-0, that's cool and all, but who have you played? Nobody. Notre Dame, surprisingly to me at least, is only a 6.5 point favorite. I'd like to see that around 10, 11, or 12. I think this Notre Dame team is really good. They're really solid. They're coming off of that big time win against Duke. They get the job done. I really don't see it being that close. It's not that I'm really high on Notre Dame in this game. It's more so of I just don't believe in Louisville. I'm not on the hype train. Let's not talk about that too long. Give me Notre Dame by 20. Also at 6:30, I do want to talk about this real briefly. Could see an upset. Might be a trap game. You got Arkansas, who's not too good. They're very disappointed, 2-3, versus Lane Train and the Ole Miss Rebels. Now I know it all of you are sitting there saying, Matt, why are we talking about this game? It's not going to be good. And yeah, that's what at least you think. You see, our old buddy Lane Kiffin is notorious for losing games just like this one, a game he should win. I would not be shocked if Arkansas goes into Ole Miss and upsets them. Wouldn't be shocked at all. Arkansas's got one of the better quarterbacks in the country in KJ Jefferson, and they are due for a big-time win. They lost to LSU on a last-second field goal. This Arkansas team is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Now, am I going to say they're good? No, I'm not going to say that. They're decent. But here's what I will tell you. When Arkansas plays up to their potential, yes, I think they're good enough to beat a team like LSU or Ole Miss, no doubt. But I love me some Jackson Dart, and that Ole Miss offense, they're clicking on all cylinders. Give me Ole Miss in this one by, I'm going to say 3 points. It's a close game. Arkansas might pull off the upset, but I just can't bet against the Lane Train in this one. I'll take the Rebels in that one. Miami plays Georgia Tech. Not going to talk about that too much. Give me Miami. Oh, snap. My bad. I almost forgot about this game. Georgia and Kentucky. How did I almost forget about this? This surprisingly might be a good matchup. Kentucky's heading into this game undefeated 5-0, and same thing for Georgia. And as where it stands, Georgia is a 14.5 point favorite. It's the same thing with the Ohio State-Maryland game. I don't want to pull your leg. Am I really about to sit up here and try to convince you that Kentucky's going to win? No. Nobody in their right mind is going to do that. And the bad part about this game for Kentucky, and it's always been the bad part about this game for Kentucky, is they play into Georgia's lap. In football, there's matchups. And unfortunately, Kentucky does not match up well against Georgia. Why is that? Because Kentucky likes to run the ball, and you're not going to run against Georgia. You're just simply not. You can pass against Georgia like Bryce Young did a couple years ago and Mac Jones did against Georgia a couple years ago, but you're not going to run on them. Just not going to happen. And on top of that, Kentucky's new transfer quarterback, Devin Leary, it's just been awful. Let's just be honest. 10 touchdowns on the year, 5 interceptions. And when I say awful, okay, let me clarify on that. I thought he was going to be a top 3 or 4 quarterback in the SEC. He's been awful for what I expected him to be. He's on pace to be an average quarterback this year, but I just thought he'd do a little bit better. At the end of the day, Georgia's too much. It might be close in the first half. Georgia might sleepwalk through this game, but I still see him winning by 14 points at bare minimum. Give me the Bulldogs in that one. Give me the Bulldogs. And then our other night games at 7 p.m., you got Fresno State, Wyoming. That's a big game for the group of 5. And then you got Arizona and USC. Oh, yeah, by the way, give me Fresno State in that one. And for USC, Arizona, obviously I got USC. Come on now. Arizona's not that good. But here's what I want to see. Can this USC defense stop somebody? Can you? Don't know. Oh, crap. I didn't even notice this. USC kicks off at 9:30 p.m. Wow. I guess it's going to be another long Saturday of me staying up till 1:30 watching Pac-12 football. Not going to lie, wouldn't have it any other way. I love it. And yeah, that's it for all of our games, except for the biggest game on Saturday, kicking off at 11 a.m. Central Time Zone. That's my time zone. We got Oklahoma, the Sooners, down to, what do y'all call it? Is it the Boomer? No. Sooner Nation. My bad. Sooner Nation and Texas with Quinn Ewers and the Sarknado. Why did I want to say Boomer Nation? No, it's Sooner Nation. My apologies. Anyways, we got the big time matchup. What is the line for this game? Without looking at it, I'm going to assume Texas is a 6.5 point favorite. Let's check it out. Okay, I got close. Texas is currently a 5 point favorite. Not bad at all, and we should expect that because Texas, at least heading into the game, they are the better team. I think we'd agree on that. They have the better wins. They're undefeated. They're 5-0. It just makes sense for them to be favored. And it's not that people don't believe in Oklahoma. It's more so of we need to see them up against some great competition. And that's what I'm looking forward to in this game the most. I just want to see if Oklahoma can hang with Texas. Because let's not forget, guys, this same Texas team minus a few players destroyed Oklahoma 49-0. It was embarrassing. It could have been 80-0 if Texas wanted to run it up. And I already know Oklahoma fans are going to say, well, man, we didn't have Dylan Gabriel. Oh, okay. That doesn't matter. It didn't matter if you had Dylan Gabriel or prime Cam Newton in this game or in the game last year. You weren't going to win or even keep it close. Gosh, that game was bad, but guess what? I got some good news for you, Oklahoma fans. It's in the past. It doesn't matter. This year's a new year. When you kick off at 11 a.m. on Saturday, or really, you know what, all the commercials will probably kick off at like a 11:09, 11:10, whatever, you get the point. It's going to be 0-0, even score. Now here's my biggest question. Let me know in the comment section. Who has the better quarterback in this game? Me personally, I'm a big Quinn Ewers guy. I've been following up with him ever since he was a junior in high school. I'm saying Quinn Ewers. That's just my personal preference, but I also love me some Dillon Gabriel. The dude can sling it, and he's just good. That's all there is to it. He's a good college quarterback. Does Dillon Gabriel's game translate over well to the NFL? I don't know about all that, but in college, dude's pretty good. I'll show you his numbers right here compared to Quinn Ewers, and it's an even matchup on paper. You got two offenses that are extremely good, and also that's a question maybe we should talk about. Who has the better offense? On paper, at least, Oklahoma, they have the better offense, but they haven't played anybody. On the flip side, you got to throw this in there, man. Texas scored 34 against an Alabama defense who is really good. That can't go unnoticed. Putting up 34 on that Bama D, whew, that was impressive to me. I think it's more than fair to say these offenses, they're 1A, 1B. They're not going to be the X factor because they're going to do their thing. To me, at least, I think the X factor is most definitely going to be the Oklahoma defense. That is the X factor, and in all my games when we break them down, I like to point to the X factor. Because when you got two good teams like this, it's going to come down to two things. Number one, X factor, we're about to talk about in just a second, and number two, quarterback play. Well, at least for this game, I think your quarterback play is going to be 1A, 1B. It's going to be equal. That's heading into the game. We don't know if Dillon Gabriel is going to go out there and throw 3 interceptions or if Ewers is going to throw 3 interceptions. We don't know that. That could happen, but at least going into the game, I'm not going to predict that to happen. If I were to tell you, hey, as a fan, this is the thing you need to pay attention to the most, the detail you need to look at, I would say it's the Oklahoma offensive line against or versus that Texas front seven. That Texas front seven almost single-handedly won the game against Alabama. They caused so many problems for that Alabama offensive line. I wouldn't be shocked if they go out here against Oklahoma and do the same thing and they have about 5, 6, 7 sacks. That Texas front seven is easily top 10 in the nation. They're really good. They're underrated. Secondary, not so much. So if you can protect Dillon Gabriel, I think he can make a lot of plays and throw for 350 yards. But that's the thing. You got to protect him first, because if you don't protect him, it's going to be a long day. Let's say, for the sake of this video, though, Oklahoma, they do a decent job. They do a C+ job of protecting Dillon Gabriel. They give up a couple sacks, but he throws for 325 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 INT. I think that's more than fair to say. And let's also say Oklahoma and Dillon Gabriel, they score 31 points. Well, here's my question to you guys. If Oklahoma scores 31 points in this game, is that good enough to win? I don't know. I'm going to be honest with y'all. If I had to bet my house on whether or not Texas is going to score 31 points or more, I'm taking the over on that. It's a combination of two things. Number one, I do not trust this Oklahoma defense. And number two, the Texas offense is really dang good. Yes, I got to throw in there. I know all the OU fans better run to the comment section and say, well, Matt, our defense is only allowing 10 points per game. Look, I know. We talked about that only a few days ago. I think the OU defense has improved vastly since last year. But you got to remember how bad you were last year. Just because I'm saying you've improved so much from last year, that doesn't automatically make you a top 25 defense. There's still a lot of question marks I have about the OU defense. I want to see if they can play good against the Texas. I'm going to be honest with all of you. I know what to expect out of the Texas defense, but I don't know what to expect out of the OU defense. On one hand, the Texas defense, yeah, they're going to give up some chunk plays, but they're going to get some stops as well. On the flip side for OU, I just don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to get any stops at all? I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's the wild card in the game. It's the biggest X factor. I don't know how you could point to anything else and say it's the X factor, because it's not. Defense is the X factor. I'm worried for that OU defense. I think their offense, they're going to put up points, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. And with all that being said, you probably know where I'm leaning with this. I got Texas winning this ball game. I do think it's going to be high scoring, so I'm going to say Texas 38, Oklahoma 31. 38-31, I'm extremely comfortable with that. I don't see it getting into the 40s, but it might. Give me the Longhorns, man. Give me the Longhorns. Sorry, OU fans. I don't know what to expect out of your team. I'm excited, though. I'm excited. Let me know your thoughts down below. But,